UZ and UZ plus tier list time. Yeah. So I finally went out of my way to make one of these tier lists so that way I don't have to worry about fixing it every time. So, yeah, that's going to be pretty nice to be able to go back to because it kind of took me a little bit. It took me like 30 minutes to find all of these and then put them together. So, it'll be nice to not have to do it again. Anyways, I'm going to arrange these as I keep yapping. Basically, we have three total events to go through. However, most of these events are actually like really strong changes and stuff. So there is actually quite a decent bit to talk about. Despite that, there was only four characters. Are you kidding me? I guess it makes sense, but like I don't know. It feels like there would be more. So then there's the Hololive ones. We'll go ahead and get them ready. And then it's because this event has five. That's why. That's why it feels weird. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. No, wait, 8, 13. 13 characters to talk about. And so, why don't we go ahead and get started with the worst one? Probably. I don't know. Maybe we'll find one worse. But UZ Athletic Mara. She is a pre-fill HP based crit salt. So basically, we have this one right here. This is Yuika. She is the exact same thing except she's LB tenable and has fever fill instead of pre-fill. So, literally just like worse, but slightly more usable because maybe you just like literally don't have any other pre-fill character. That's very unlikely though, but does give her some use, and so I guess you can use her like that. It also doesn't even help that you got UZ plus Mara and Orange Mara, the Unity one, so she's got like two competition characters with herself. Kind of stupid. Anyways, next up, let's talk about a simple one. Rubius J. Rubius J is a Link Big Revive EX popper for Charming. He's LB tenable as well. Honestly, that's really good. Being a spammable EX popper that actually does a lot of damage when you use him is pretty nice. It also lets you let the fever gauge like come down. So after you use Komaki, you can just EX pop. So that way all the Puni fall down, and then you can, I don't know, do some weird shenanigans. And Link Big makes him really spammable. The funny thing about Rubius is that, honestly, we're not going to put him here for now, but Golden Claws really just isn't that good with Charming right now. Mainly because Charming really struggles with chain ability because Komaki is like cool and all, but really the only way that they can like safely like spam more Puni effectively, since they don't have any sort of drop big characters, is by manually linking. And so having an EX pop you can do on command is pretty useful. I mean, Golden Claws is still like really good, but because he's got a revive and he has that link big, it's not nearly as big a gap as you would think. And the starter range really doesn't matter because of a different character we're going to talk about. I don't even have her. I gotta go find her real quick. Hang on. I just skipped over her when saving all of these images. That makes sense. Yeah, she is here. They just refuse to put her in. Whatever. It says she already exists. Let me search by all files. Maybe she's just like a weird image file for some reason. I still can't find her. She really shouldn't be that difficult to find. And there she is, right here. Yep. Go ahead and add her. And there, after it's done telling me I'm using an ad blocker, which I already know I am, we're good. So we'll put her in with a Hololive. Let's go ahead and talk about Rubius still. So because Rubius is a super good EX popper with Revive, I think he's pretty dang good. Not quite as good as somebody like Peko here. Even Tamonten Ren. Tamonten Ren's kind of like replaceable. You can use like Gunshin. Rubius is pretty good. He's like, honestly, we can put him like right here. He's about as replaceable as Shuka is, but honestly, there's an argument to where he's a little bit better to use than Golden Claws, but nobody likes it when I point that out. So we'll just put him here for now. I really like him though. Blizzari is right here because she's also reusable for the team, not like nearly as good, but she's also an auto character, so she does kind of get extra bonus points. So if you want to, you could put Rubius right here, and I wouldn't stop you. You could even argue him up here, but I'm not 100% sure where I would put him up here. Probably, I mean, he'd probably just still be like here. I mean, if Salome's right here, actually, yeah, because well, Salome's also a we'll put him right here. Salome's is the same thing, except she's also got the ability to be an Ohajiki bonus permanently, so he's not as good. So, actually, no, that makes it more argument here. The Ohajiki skill, because you can always have it and you don't have to run her pre-fill as a second skill, You can always have this. She's actually pretty valuable. So yeah, anyways, next up we got Titus. Titus is cool. He is a tap inflator with a redrop and the attack boost skill. He's like actually a really, really good score attack character. Probably the best redrop score attack character. However, I don't really think redrop strats are all that good. But he is pretty dang strong, so actually we'll put him above the boosters that are redrops. I just really like the Future Shogunyan strats. It's just like so consistent, so easy. And Titus is like eventually redrop can just like stop, and that happens to me a lot. Meanwhile, Future Shogunyan strats you can save yourself pretty easily. So I like Future Shogunyan strats better, but he's pretty dang good, and I don't really care to argue score attack very much. Anyways, next up we got Blizzaria, UZ plus Blizzaria. So she is a 100 combo popper that has fast fever in either fever fill or woman unity, and her center trait buffs women even more. Pretty good for the charming team, considering the only male characters are Rubius and Golden Claws. Well, and the new Jibanyan, but honestly, they're kind of fighting each other for spots on the team, unless it's free to play charming, in which they're both used. 100 combo pops are really strong. 100 combo pops that also provide unity are even stronger. So at bare minimum, better than UZ plus Mara, because Mara is on a worse team and only provides damage, and while she's more spammable, you get a lot more utility out of Blizzaria, so actually, you know what, that's a pretty good spot to do. Especially since, like, she's, like, pretty difficult to work with sometimes, since she can't get her own Soultimate and needs help from both Komaki and Elzamekia sometimes, so, yeah. Alright, now let's sort the Hololive characters again, go from least to most interesting. And there. And then we'll do this, and yeah. Alright, so now we got Ayame. Ayame could have been so good, but she is so bad, it's terrible. So she is an all-popper that has a chance to crit, basically meaning she has a 70% chance to deal actual normal damage, and a 30% chance to deal 30k. Not good. However, she does have both Link Big and the attack boost skill. So, you know, Rimuru, this one, some right here, he's got Link Big in the attack boost skill, but is a 100 combo popper. So she should be really good, but because she has a Soultimate that can just fail, I don't really like to use her. If she was even like an all-popper rearranger, something that's consistent, she'd at least be usable to me, because then I would feel like, okay, I know what's gonna happen when I use this Soult. But like, in the debut event of the event for me, I used her 7 times in a row and she failed the crit. So like, why would I bring her if she's only providing attack buffs that I might not even proc very often? So, yeah. She's pretty dang mid. Honestly, literally worse than Mamarina. Like, oh yeah, she could proc attack buffs. Doesn't really matter, Charming can't really run her, and honestly, I'd rather just get lucky with guards instead of dealing with that. Next up, we have Noelle. This is another Noelle. We have like 3, but this one's the best, arguably, because the other 2 are old. So this one's Inflate 4 with Revive and the Poison Inspirit skill. The thing with the Inspirit skill is that it is completely useless outside of Seal stages, and even then there are 2 variations of the poison stuff. There's the balls, and then there's the, like, Smoke Inspirit. I don't like that either of them have a skill that makes it easier, because I feel like it should just be one skill that just, like, makes Inspirits faster. But no, we have to ruin kits with characters, and then a Revive for Heartful. If you want a Revive for Heartful, just bring Sylphiette. She's a Link Big Soultimate filler, so really good. And Heartful doesn't even need a Revive very often anyway, so yeah, pretty dang mid. We'll put her here. This one's at least an auto character, so if you happen to get him during the Sudokai, he's been usable since then as an auto character, since he's like decently fast, since he's a select popper. He's usable. Alright, actually, let's go ahead and get these 3 out of the way, because these 3 are pretty mid. So first up, we have Blizzy. She has one of the worst kits of all time, I kid you not. All popper rearranger. Okay, bad Soultimate type. I mean, it's better than a crit Soult, because it's at least guaranteed to do something. But then, linking her own Puni has a 65% chance to inflate the surrounding area by 1 size, and then the Inspirit skill for balls. Why does she have, like, the worst kit ever? Like, actually, so terrible. Let me go see what the Komasan does, because he's also a rearranger, I'm fairly certain, that has the link skill. So, yeah, he's also a rearranger, but he has fast fever. So, worse than that. Well, these two are here because they have like a score attack strategy with Lotus Ren that works decently well. This guy just kind of sucks. He's a Soultimate filler for Mysterious, the team that has two Soultimate fillers on the team already, both of which have Unity. And then this one's a pre-fill character that has drop big, so at least an auto slave. Unironically, and because she has the attack boost skill, it's fine. It's better. So yeah, really bad. Like unironically, could be down here, but because she has something, like you could find some, like the Inspirit skill saves her basically. That's it. The Inspirit skill stops her from being genuine trash. And it's so sad because it's Blizzy. She hasn't had a character in forever. Yeah. Anyways, next up, Punio Khan, I think is this thing's name. It's a crown. It's genderless. It's weird. It looks like that one Pokemon. I think it's Milcream or Milcery. I don't know. It looked like that. So it's a attack booster with drop big and appear less. Now appear less is cool, but drop big does not work with future Shogunyan strats because even though she's appearing less often, anytime her Puni is large, Shogunyan's going to inflate it, and because it doesn't have the popping their own large Puni fills other gauges, pretty bad attack booster in all honesty. If it had like Fever Fill, it would be really good, but it does not. Unironically, I do kind of think worse. Death Mars. I've had to like rearrange these, and some of these just aren't even on it. Death Mars is pretty good, isn't he? He's got the attack boost skill. Not the attack boost. His large Puni fills other gauges. Yeah, and he's got Link Big. Yeah, he's good. Better than Toad. So, yeah, really bad. Unironically. So, now we have Dead Time. Dead Time is another tap inflator with any large Puni can fill her gauge and redrop. So, a slightly worse version of Lotus Ren. Actually, worse than Milim, too, because these two have watches that can buff them, like the 50% attack watch when they're in the center. Dead Time has nothing like that. So, not nearly as good. Alright, now we're on to cool stuff. So, first up, let's talk about Enma, because he's, like, kind of the most boring one. He is a UZ Plus, the first mid-event UZ Plus character, is a Fever Extender with Revive and either Link Big or the 10-second stun, and his center skill is buffing all Enma characters by 5% attack and HP. Now, I don't really like his kit, because I don't like that he has to give up his chain ability in order to have a gimmick skill. So, these, like, 10-second stun, super duper good for anybody that doesn't have either of the Boso Enmas. And if you don't care about running the Enma team, he's pretty usable. The only problem I have with that is that they recently just made a free-to-play Enma team pretty usable. I mean, it's not really able to beat Thrones nowadays. I mean, if you're just like free-to-play, if you got like one of the Nyambo characters, it's perfectly usable. But because they're pretty strong, they could beat like quite a few seal stages. So him not being like chainable at all, which would actually like really help them be able to like spam Soultimates more. Yeah, kind of a pain. However, when looking at just his 10-second stun and revive, he's pretty good. He can also buff damage. However, good luck getting his Soultimate in any sort of scenario where you're using this to take advantage of like the revive and the stun. Mainly, he's good for like getting around some seals and throne stages. Like they got a nuclear normal or they have a nuclear counter. Just like stuff like that. So, I mean, he's pretty usable with like gimmick stuff, and especially for like Gates of Whimsies. Honestly, he's pretty good. It's just I don't really like his kit outside of his little gimmicks. So, yeah, I mean, him as a Link Big Fever Extender with Revive, really good for the Enma team. It's just you also want the stun, so he's kind of like he's got two modes, but since you can't switch skills super easily, it's kind of a pain. He's definitely not. We'll put him right here. I just kind of like the fact that Summer Setsuna doesn't have modes to switch between, and you can already use her for instant fever times, and she's a Soultimate filler, so she at least has some sort of use. So, yeah, we'll go with that now. Alright, so next up, Lapless Darkness. She is an eerie, OB-tenable fever extender with Fever Fill and Eerie Unity. Eerie Unity is really good because this is the fourth one we've had recently. Well, not recently, but just ever. So we got Rimuru here, an EX popper with Drop Big in Unity. Saku-chan, a select popper with Revive in Unity. Arachnus, a Soultimate filler with a Redrop in Unity. And now Lapless, a Fever extender with Fever Fill and Revive, not in Unity. So, we'll put here. The reason I have Miyabi here is because she's a Link Big Fever extender, which just makes her more spammable than these three. Lapless is the best one because she's OB-tenable, and then Future Ren is on a better team than Sandanatsu. But you can swap those four all around you want. They're the same character, essentially. So, yeah, Eerie is really good. I'll make some like adjustments overall to these because like tribes have changed, and I think that some characters have gained value because their tribe is just better. So yeah. Next up, we'll talk about Jibanyan because these two are pretty unique. Jibanyan is a pre-fill Charming Unity or after-fill, but we're just gonna ignore after-fill because it's terrible. So yeah, he's got pre-fill Charming Unity and is an AoE character that takes 20% of the enemy's current HP up to a maximum of 600,000 damage, and then hits the entire board. So, he can do, like, over 1,000,000 damage in 2 Soultimates against a throne stage. When you hear it like that, it's like, oh wow, he's, like, really good. And in, like, Gates of Whimsies, if the enemy has, like, I don't know, more than, like, 5 million HP, 2 Soultimates of his is gonna drain, like, 1.5 million, practically. Sounds really good, right? The only problem is that, I don't know, it just kind of is really difficult to chain him by himself. And the main reason is because Afterfill is like fighting with the Charming Unity. And he's essentially just direct competition with Blizzaria. If they're only doing like 1 or 2 Soultimates, then Blizzaria cannot keep up with him doing like 1,000,000 damage in 2 Soults. But if he can do like 4, maybe even 3 Soultimates, Blizzaria can pretty easily catch up because the enemy just won't have as much HP for Jibanyan to drain. Because Throne Stages only have 2.5 million HP right now, and so Blizzaria, who does like, I don't know, 400 to 450k per Soult, will do like 1.3 million in 3 Soults, and then Jibanyan will, I don't know, do like 1.5 or 1.6, and then in 4 Soultimates they're matching, and then from there on, if you're somehow getting more than that, Blizzaria is just surpassing. It's very uncommon to get, like, more than 4 Soultimates, though, so. Yeah, and he does have normal Charming Unity instead of just Woman Charming Unity, so he provides more stats to the team than Blizzaria does. I like him. It's just some people, like, really, really overrate him. Like, I've had somebody try to tell me that he's, like, one of the best in the game, and it's just like, nah, you don't know what you're talking about, bro. He is really good, though. It's just, there's not really a scenario where you would, like, really want to like drain the enemy's HP where you can't just already kill them with a pretty strong team, and anytime you can, which is like Gates of Whimsies, he's still having to do like, okay, so Gates have like, I don't know, 16 million HP or something like that. 16 million divided by 600,000 means he'd have to do 27 Soultimates in order to be able to like no bonus one. You're not, it's actually like slightly less it's slightly less because you're not only popping Puni, but with like EX poppers and stuff, you're like doing that, and then that's like not even accounting for the actual damage his Ultimate's doing. So like, yeah. But I've also forgot to mention he's really good for autoing, both for throne stages because cutting 20% of the enemy's HP can let some bonuses one-shot. Like for example, Goen right here, he was able to one-shot the enemy throne stage, or like the enemy thing, with a G Ultimate. However, it was kind of weird. You had to like cut your gains a little bit. It was kind of a hassle to do. Jibanyan would be able to slash 20% of the enemy's HP, and then your other bonus would be able to fire, and then you would win in 2 Ultimates. Pretty dang good in all honesty. So, I do like him for that. And because he's an AoE character with pre-fill, he's able to, like he's literally the fastest character for beating the first 45 stages of any event. So he's going to let me speedrun these events even faster. So that's the main reason why Full Bloom U is all the way up here. because she's a select popper, but she's an AoE character with drop big. So it's very easy to get her Soultimate to finish off the rest of the foes. Jibanyan just has his Ultimate off the bat. So because of those like really useful gimmicks and all that, I'm going to put him right here. Yeah, right here. Actually, no. We'll put him even higher. We'll put him right here. Right here above his UZ Plus form. The reason is because these ones are Unity characters, but they can also help like directly get the bonus. Meanwhile, if like the bonus can't get their own Soultimate, Jibanyan's not going to do as much. But he's pretty good. He's really dang good. Not quite up to the level of these characters, because while he is like really usable and has like a lot of uses, it's just buffing the damage of your bonus character is really valuable instead of just draining the enemy's HP, especially for like a Gate of Whimsy. Like these four are buffing bonus characters, especially Rem. Rem is really buffing the bonus character's damage. They're buffing it way more than the effective damage you would get by buffing it with Jibanyan. Jibanyan doesn't buff. Like if it has like 16 million HP, the Gate of Whimsy, Jibanyan isn't going to take off very much. He's going to do like 700k. Meanwhile, your bonus character is still doing the same amount of damage. But with Rem, they're doing like, I don't know, almost double damage, which is way more than the 1 million that Jibanyan would do. So, especially with these Fever extends, and mainly just because they also like are really good for the actual like tribe teams. Meanwhile, Jibanyan isn't like, I mean, he's like good, but it's not nearly to the level of these ones are. Like, if you don't have Jibanyan, your charming team won't really mind that much. But if you don't have Future Ren, you don't have Lapis, you don't have Miyabi, you don't have Rem, your teams are way worse. So, that's my argument for it and all that. Alright, next up, we have Katie. Katie's pretty easy to talk about. She is a Fever extender with Fast Fever and Fever Power. You know what that sounds like? That sounds like the best character in the game to me. And that's because she is. So, the only difference between her and Aqua is that, well, obviously she's a rank higher, so she does more damage. She's on a better team as of now because Mysterious is, like, good, but Charming is just better. However, she doesn't get the easy Soultimate when in Fever time. She instead gets Drop Big. But because it's only in Fever time, and it doesn't, like, inflate like Puni currently on the board, it's not really that big a deal for, like, Fever looping. And since, like, Drop Big in Fever time is still, like, fine enough, since when you're in Fever time, that's when you use your EX popper of some sorts. Where is Ruby's? Right here. When you use your EX popper, you're still able to get her Soultimate super duper easily. So, I do think she's the best character in the game. Yep, new best character in the game, in my opinion, because I like the Fever looping stuff more than the buffing of bonus characters. So, yeah. I mean, like, even though she's the best character in the game, you would think, oh, you would want this character. But if you have Aqua and Zodiac, I mean, obviously she opens up a whole new tribe that can Fever loop, but if you already have like one of these characters, she's not as necessary as something like, I don't know, Jane was back in the day. Because Jane was like super unique. And then like Golden Claws is really unique, Yokaiju's really unique, Head's really unique. Like, they at least have something unique. Meanwhile, there are like substitute characters, but I mean, she is like the best for it, so I mean, Aqua's the best for it, but she has more uses on, like, the actual, like, tribe team, so. Yeah. They're, like, if you have them, like, anywhere, like, separate, you're just stupid. Like, simple as that. And then finally, UZ plus Marine. This character's interesting. So she's a Soultimate filler with Slippery Tribe Unity and a promotion skill. All you have to do to unlock her second skill is, in battle, link 3 of her own Puni at once. She will then glow yellow or orange or something, kind of red, and then give the team critical hits. So the way critical hits work, any damage that would normally do over 3,000 has a 40% chance to deal 1.5 times damage. So if your Roxy does like 400k, if you proc a crit on it, now she's doing 600k. That's really freaking good. Really, really good. But some people, I feel like, are kind of overrating it. Again, it's still a chance. And in all honesty, I don't really like chance stuff that much. That's why I don't like crit salts at all. So, linking her own Puni actually does kind of give her one really big downside. She's not good for autoing. So Blue Sky Helmet Suzaku is more useful, but there's never really a scenario where you need to auto where you also need crits. I don't know why I said Blue Sky Helmet Suzaku. We got Fudo Boy Gold right here, who already has crits and has start big. There's not really a scenario where you need to be able to crit when you're autoing. She is like really, really good. It's just you can't really get her Soultimate super easily. But I mean, it's not that big a deal because Slippery doesn't have any sort of fast fevers, and it is like wasting a bunch of time trying to get Mercury Asu's buffs anyway. So, and you only need to use her once, so it's not that big a deal. So I mean, she is like super duper good. Don't get me wrong. We'll put her above Jane because Jane you can kind of like drop her on the Shady team, and it's not like as good, but it's still like fine. Like Slippery is like the best team in the game as long as you got Nyambo Kyra because of her. So better than Zodiac, but I don't think she's better than Rem. And here's why. Rem is like always consistent. It's like she's always buffing everybody's damage 100% of the time. As long as you're like popping her Puni. If you miss a Puni, obviously she doesn't pop it. She doesn't like buff. So the main thing is, it's like, how do you value critical hits with a chance to activate compared to always buffing everybody and then like potentially needing to do like a second Soultimate in order to really, really buff the damage? Like, the Rem trick does need to exclusively pop a Rem Puni, and usually the best way to do that is to use an all popper after you link a size 2 Puni, so that way you pop everything, and then immediately use another Soultimate to pop exclusively that Rem Puni you popped, so that way it does like the massive increased damage. The main thing is, it's like neither of these can be really used for autoing, but I mean like, it's a little difficult. How do you, it's really a matter of preference. Like, how do you quantify buffing a character or buffing your bonuses compared to like whole new strategies being accessible because of these characters? I personally prefer the whole new strategies because like fever looping is just such a broken like skill set. It's ridiculous. Rem can like really buff the damage of like bonus characters. Like the throne stage, like that Marine was a bonus against. I was using Rem because she was speeding up the process by so much that it would just kind of be like a waste of time to fever loop. But against Gate of Whimsies, fever looping is a little bit more important since you got those damage balls to deal with since they like don't have a steal to reduce them. And you have like concurrent HP, you can't just like retry later. You have to spend energy and spend drinks and all that and medicines. I really like the fever looping stuff. So I mean, you can have any one of these in your top 4 as long as this is your top 4. Then it's fine in my book. If you have anybody else in the top 4, any of these like really far away, like if you have like I don't know Aqua or her at 7 or something, something's wrong. So that's all of them. So now let's get into a little bit of adjustments. Roxy, better than Neko Elzamekia. Slippery's a better team, and she's more spammable. Makes perfect sense in my book. Then we have, it's kind of, that's that. Nate is a lot worse than all of these. The thing with the Black Hole Asu, we'll put him right next to Yashiro. It doesn't really matter which one of these you put on the Shady team if you're running Jane and Dead Time. You can get more damage with Yashiro because he's got redrop and his Soultimate is a lot stronger. But it's a lot easier to use Black Hole Asu because not only does he have Revive, but he's also a tap inflator that can stop time, and since Dead Time is inflating tons of Puni, like I've said it before like multiple times, the main reason my damage with Tough isn't that high is because I just run out of Fever Time, but I can still take more Soultimates. So if I could stop Fever Time with a tap inflator, we'd be really easily able to get even more damage. So that's the argument. We'll kind of put him right here. They're interchangeable though. They're pretty good. Kaiju, still really good. Just not really a scenario outside of like Tough where you like really need him because there's like plenty of like replacement options. Like you got Summer Setsuna, you got Golden Claws. As long as you got a Fast Fever, these two are fine. But I mean, she is a Fast Fever, so yeah. Same thing with the what's his face? This guy. This guy's essentially just like a better version of this Enma. Like the stun is like super useful, but the guaranteed fever time, like instant fever time, and because he's an inflate 4 with pre-fill, he's a little bit more useful in any sort of scenario where this guy would be good. So That's about that. Then Komaki's way too high in all honesty. We'll put her below these guys because these two, they're not very good at like chaining the team. However, Mimi, I am also going to move Mimi up because Mimi's really freaking good. Put her right a little less impactful than Ghost Rimuru, so we'll do that. Ghost Rimuru is like super aggressively buffing the team. Like if Mimi was actually Ghost Rimuru, it would be worse because they wouldn't be able to do as many Soultimates. But they would do a lot more damage and less Soultimates, and people wouldn't make the stupid mistake of thinking Erie's damage is bad because they do for some reason. So these two work really well with Mimi because Arachnus doesn't matter what Mimi inflates as long as she inflates both Rimuru and someone else, and preferably herself. Arachnus can guarantee those ultimates, and then Sakuchan can pop the Puni as they're inflating after Mimi uses the ultimate, so that way you don't waste Fever time waiting for them to grow. So that's even more ultimates you can do in Fever time. That's that for now. Like she's good, like Megumin's good. It's just Brave kind of sucks right now. She's still probably going to be the best Fever Extender unless then there's a new Unity character that's also a Fever Extender. I feel like she'll survive the power creep because she's good like that. Yeah, it's pretty good right here. And I feel like you're better because you're at least usable on like the Ginga team. Where's what's her name? Yeah, Mika. Mika, I'm going to put in front of Sarah because usable for the Ginga team and just pretty usable. Especially because Charming has so many unities. Like it's got Komaki, it's got Elze, it's got Jibanyan, it's got Blizzaria. So you can actually use Mika as like a primary damage dealer for seal stages. So I like that. That's pretty cool. Diablo's the best pre-fill character. Swirly's Gold sucks. We're going to drop him. He's really bad. The main reason he's so bad is because well, I mean, he's still like a good auto character, so we'll at least put him back here. But he's really close to down here. So actually we're going to do this. They're essentially the same. I mean, he does more damage, but she's more chainable. Both of them. And she's actually able to be buffed by Blizzaria if you're crazy enough to run both of them for some reason. So, there's that. And I'm mean, like, no, like, if you like Swirliest Gold, honestly, something's just wrong with you. Why do you like Yomas? Like one of the cool ones, like Yokaiju or, I don't know, Claws, something like that. Not this bummy character. So, overall, that's pretty good. Okumo can go down. I mean, the weird thing with Eri is that Okumo, Marine, that's kind of the only characters that have, like, been on the team that have been kicked off recently. If you don't have, like, Arachnus or something, these two are still really good, like, replacement options. So they're still, like, fine. We'll do this. Actually, you're a little bit better. Yeah, we'll do that. Not perfect in here, but I don't really care about any of these characters enough to like warrant moving them anymore. So yeah, there's a little bit of inconsistency here and there, but I don't really care enough about this row to mess with it. It's mainly just like this row that I really care about. A little bit of the good uses tier. Score attack I don't really care about. These ones I genuinely do not care about any of these characters. Except I care about how bad they made Blizzy, because why did they do that to her? And yeah, that's kind of it. We'll put you back here, actually, because you're just, like, bad. You don't really do anything for the Slippery team, and 100 Tails just isn't a team right now, so doesn't matter. You're a decent usable option for the Shady team, so Mercury Asu is pretty usable. We'll do that. Because he is at least like a starter range character. That's all he's got going for him. He doesn't do anything special outside of that. So, she's the next best Fever extending option for Brave. Yeah. He's usable for free to play, especially because he's really good with Zodiac, so he gets to stay up here. Komaki, I just don't like Komaki. We'll put you back here. 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 That works. Suise's up here because the Hololive team is, like, functional. One of the main reasons is her. Another main reason is Marine. So, yeah. Overall, that is my team. That is my tribe. Not tribe. Just character tier list. There's so many characters I gotta, like, zoom out. Yeah, that's cool. And yeah, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think. And yeah, bye.